Hi Nitish.
Hi, sir.
Nitish, tell me about yourself.
Thank you for giving this wonderful opportunity, sir. My name is Nitish Kumar. I am from Medpalli, Jagitial district. I pursued my graduation in Kshatriya College of Engineering, CSC background. I'm willing to become a professional software engineer in Java full stack domain. Achieve that, I joined in the VCube institution as a learner with Java full stack.
Okay, good. How much you rate yourself in Java out of 10?
Initially, before coming into VCube, I rate myself as 4.
Okay.
But after as much experience I got in this VCube institution,
Like, how about database?
yeah, database,
Out of 10.
yeah, out of 10, I choose 5.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
How about front end? This
Front
HTML,
end,
CSS, Bootstrap, Java.
As everyone know, HTML and CSS, much more confident that I can give.
Right, super. Good. So we'll start with database questions first.
Yeah.
Right. Then we'll get into backend.
Yeah.
Then we'll get into front end.
Okay.
Right. So tell me, what is the difference between JDK, JRE, and JVM?
First of all, we use Java. JDK is nothing but Java development tools. It is a kit which is used for Java debugging, which contains some libraries and classes which are predefined. JDK is consists of JRE and plus standard libraries.
Okay. JVM. Tell me about something about JVM architecture.
JVM contains 3 main phases: class loader, loading, linking, initialization. In that loading, there are subtypes: Bootstrap class loader and application class loader and extension class loader.
Okay.
Bootstrap class loader is for to search whether to load the classes from java.util, java.lang, java.io, which are the predefined classes in the Java. So, and using extension class loader, get classes from some libraries.
Fine. Excellent. Excellent. So tell me, these two keywords, the difference, mainly you tell me about these two. That is, one is, what is the difference between static and final?
Static used to give static to a variable or a method. Say to the compiler that it is an object content, can be accessed easily without creating an object.
Okay.
And final is nothing but we use it whether we declaring an object or a method. It can't be overridden and it can't be unchanged. Can't change it its value or reassign its value.
Okay. Can I give final to a class?
We can't give final to a class. Though we won't use final keyword because every
For
class.
example, if I give a class, I specify final to a class, what will happen?
If we specify a final to a class, we can't. When we need to achieve inheritance,
Acquire the properties?
you can't extend.
Derive the property.
Yes,
Perfect.
derive the properties.
Right, super. Now, tell me something about exception handling.
Exception handling is used to handle the exceptions which are occurred while running or executing the program which we are working for. And in that program, we may occur checked and unchecked exceptions. Checked exceptions may occur writing code. We can observe with a red line.
Can you tell me one example for it? While you are writing the code, you come across with checked exception.
Yeah, I have faced checked exceptions while doing a program is a class.furname method. In that method, accepts string URL. So we need to specify the path in that class bar. Compiler wants us whether it is present or not in the specified path.
What is this class.furname?
Class.furname.
Where you exactly used?
We will use exactly JDBC, which is used to load the driver class.
Okay. So there you got which exception you got?
Class not found exception.
Correct. Right. Perfect. Now, tell me what is the difference between throw and throws?
Whenever we want to manually create an exception while checking a condition, class exceptions, that class needs to be extend to the current class which is we are working for. And this already we know that class extends exception. So that exception properties will pass to this class whenever we extend that class to the current class.
Okay. So what is the use of writing the finally block?
Finally block used to close the connections which we are created like scanner class or connection class in a database. So to conclude or close the connections created in the finally block will be executed. Always finally block will be executed, but in its specific condition we can't execute this finally block, and that specific condition is system.exit method which is in system class and which accepts 0 as its input. So in that condition, if we pass that system.exit method, we can
bypass
stop
the
it.
final. Okay, fine. So, for example, I have come across with situation somewhere intentionally, but unfortunately, someone has written a code in finally block. In the finally block itself, we got an exception.
Yeah.
What you are supposed to do?
Generally, if we got an exception, we can go with the try block again in that finally block.
Okay.
Try block in also finally block. So in that
Fine.
case,
Tell me something about garbage collection.
Garbage collection, which is a main feature of JVM, Java Virtual Machine, which as we generally next garbage collection can be used to clear the objects which are unused or not unreferenced and which it
How you
doesn't
are-
contain.
How you are supposed to identify that it is unused or unreferenced?
There are different situations we can specify that. There are situations like if an object lost its object reference while reassigning, and a object is used and then reference been used, so there is no work with it with the object reference. So in that case, it will be used object. We can clear that object using system.gc class, system.gc method, which is in system class, and we can if a method, if an object created in method level, we can clear if that object, if it is in completed stage, then use of that object will be complete finished.
Right. Tell me what is meant by anonymous object.
Anonymous object is nothing but creating an object without the reference variable. Without the reference variable, creating object can
Then
be
why you are creating
anonymous.
without reference? Why you are creating the object?
Without the reference, because
Okay. So if you create an anonymous object, will it after that specific worker, will it go for garbage collection?
yes, actually anonymous object itself eligible for garbage collection, because if we use it, will its scope is up to our use, but after our use it will go out of the our scope.
Super Nitish, let's get into few database related questions. Which database you learned? Relational database or NoSQL?
I learned relational database, and in that MySQL is my main domain.
Okay, fine. So MySQL, right? Tell me what is. I heard that there are several keys are there in while you are working with the tables.
Yeah.
So tell me mainly difference between primary key, foreign key, and unique.
Primary key is nothing but which doesn't accept null values, because it must be the reference to the each row that it is used to specify each row, that is how many rows it contains in a table. And foreign key is used to keep as a reference, connect the data one table to another table, is known as it is, in this case we will use foreign key.
Okay. How about unique keys?
And coming to the unique key, in that unique key we can only specify only one null value, because we already discussed that primary key doesn't have any null values, but in unique key we can only prefer for only one null value will be accepted. So that is a unique key.
Which type of columns? Which columns I need to make it as unique? Any example? Which columns in a table? For example, let's take employee table or let's take student table.
Yeah.
Which columns I can make it as with one null value accepting unique?
We can take as a employee table as example the numeric values, and that must be numeric values, and in that row, in that column, the numeric values are allowed.
Okay. Tell me what is subqueries?
Subqueries are nothing but executing query inside another query is known as subqueries. Subqueries are used at three places, but that three places must be in, we will implement in 7 ways. They are select, where column in and column equal to.
Okay.
Next, in select we will use it, from we will use it.
Okay.
These are from, where select are the places we will use, and the ways are column in, where column equal to. Next, correlated queries and scalar functions.
Still anything exists?
Exists.
Right.
We can use exists.
Fine. Super. So you have covered all this, right? Now tell me what is the difference between inner join and left outer join and right outer?
Left outer join is nothing but matching columns in the left and right table will be left join is nothing but matching columns and unmatched columns from left table, and only matched columns from right table will be gathered in a table is known as left join.
Perfect. Right. Super. So this is what. Yes. Okay. So let's get into UI part. Few
Yeah.
couple of questions from UI. So you said that you are very good at HTML, CSS. So instead of asking HTML, let's get into CSS. Tell me how many selectors we have.
We have selectors like universal selector, group selector, and descendant, next sibling, child, next pseudo class, pseudo element, attribute. These are selectors.
Tell me the values of position property. Position property values.
We can give for position, we can give the values sticky, absolute, static. We can give for position, we can give values like relative, absolute, static, fixed, sticky.
Good. All right. Super. Next, yes. So tell me something about the nth child.
For nth child, we can give even values and odd values to change the color patterns. Generally, we will use for color patterns like giving a color to the table. Like we have many rows in a table. So in that case, want different color to the different rows.
Okay.
So in that situation, if we use this nth child, we can achieve different colors whichever we want. Like you using even, we can get even columns as a color we want. Next, odd colors we want in odd places. And an plus b is a formula which is used to achieve colors whatever we want in a row, specified rows. So in that way we can achieve.
Super Nidish, done from my end. So all the best, and you are looking confident compared to
Yes.
previous interactions.
Yes.
And next week again we'll have one more interview on advanced Java and advanced SQL.
Sure,
That is PLSQL.
Sure.
And only small correction in your explanation is few questions you are saying that. For example, if I ask what is garbage collection,
Yes.
so you are starting your answer with garbage collection is nothing but.
Yep.
So nothing means there is anything does not exist. But means something exists.
Yeah.
So don't mix up those two words. So that nothing but is not a correct word to use. So straight away you start your answer. Don't use nothing but word. Okay. That's all from my end, Nidish. Done.
Thanks.